Hello there and welcome to this James the Bike Guy, where we're going for a ride on my brand new fat bike. This is a Salsa Beargrease and we'll talk more about it on the trail, but let's go ahead and jump to what it took to get this bike ready to go for the first ride. And sun's going down, so we don't have much time. Let's hit it. Once bringing the bike home from the bike shop, I threw it onto my stand because I wanted to be able to do just a couple of things to get it trail ready. Pretty much I wanted to set it up tubeless, get a water bottle cage on there, and go ahead and debadge it, which is the first thing I started off with. Pulling those price stickers off and making sure the bike's nice and clean is so satisfying. And once that is done, it's time to turn to the rear wheel, where I removed it first to be able to get that dork disc off from behind the cassette. Once the dork disc was removed, onto the reflector we go, pulling that off before jumping to deflating the tire. I let all the air out of the tube, pulled the tire off, and was left with the rim ready to be able to tape it up to be tubeless. You'll notice here it had a bit of a crease on the rim strip that's already in there, and I used a heat gun. A little bit of heat is a good tip to be able to smooth that out before running tubeless tape onto it. Pulled the tubeless tape on, heated it up to make sure it's seated real nice, threw the new tire and the tubeless valve stem on, only to find out that my hand pump at home just was not going to give enough air volume to be able to pump these up. That's okay. Later on, I went to the bike shop right before going on the trail to get it all finished. So next, I turned my attention to adding the Whiskey Carbon side-loading water bottle cage. This is a swanky bottle cage to go with a swanky carbon frame, so it matches up and looks quite nice on the bike. Then finally, take the reflector off the seat post and the handlebar, pull the front wheel off and do the same tubeless treatment to that, and into the truck it goes to get inflated at the bike shop and go for a first trail ride. The entrance into this place that I'm riding at now, a place called Perkins Farm, is a bit uphill the whole way, but once you're in, it's a pretty fun place to be. But this is where, just off of the get-go, it's amazing just how much darn traction a fat bike has. Even on these leaves, rolling up, zero problem at all. Whew. So as you saw, we got the bike set up tubeless, got the water bottle cage, all that stuff ready to go. And unfortunately I had to run to the bike shop for a compressor. Couldn't get the tubeless done 100% at home, but so glad I was able to get it done and still make it out to the trail before the sun totally comes down. I had promised my pup that she and I would be able to go for a ride today, and so we have. And yeah, this is the new Salsa Beargrease. It's a pretty cool bike. I'm psyched to see it, and let's keep riding a little more and I'll tell you why I got it. So I went ahead and picked up this particular fat bike for a couple different reasons. You know, the first of which would be, so when the pandemic first started, I went ahead and I got rid of most of my bikes, which included a Trek Farley fat bike. I was wanting to make sure that if I lost my job or that sort of thing, you know, I'd have some stuff around, so turn the bikes into cash. And because of that, and this crazy bike shortage that's been around, I haven't been able to get a fat bike for quite some time. And then the other day, whew, woo-hoo, that was fun. And then the other day, let's see if we can get over this. Grip on fat bikes is just downright insane. Yeah, the other day I went to the bike shop to do some reviews, and they had one of these Salsas both available to review but also able to purchase, and I picked it up, and today's the first ride. So let's talk a little bit of the specs of this bike. So this Salsa Beargrease I purchased in a size medium. You know, I'm about 5'8", 5'9", so the sizing worked out pretty much perfect on it. And then this is going to have full carbon frame, runs an 11-speed Deore drivetrain. So you've got the Shadow Deore drivetrain, 51 tooth out back, but it's 11 speed instead of 12, which personally is fine. I don't know that I missed that extra gear, but it helps save some cost, and it also runs the traditional HG driver. And then checking out the rest of it, threaded bottom bracket with this alloy Samox crankset. Not the world's best crankset, but no problem. And I really like the wheel and tire setup. So obviously you're gonna see a lot of stands on here. And that's because I was just having trouble getting it to set up at home. Took it to the bike shop, made a mess in my truck. Whatever, long story short, with a tubeless fat bike, you probably need an air compressor to do it. But got these Van Helga tires in a 4.0 width, 27.5-inch size. And so far the ride has been pretty good on the bike. You know, I'm definitely enjoying it. Feel like the cockpit could be adjusted a little bit more, but the reach and the stack in the front end feel really nice. And you know, it rolls through the chunky stuff pretty well, especially considering the bike is rigid, no suspension on it. But you have those giant 4-inch tires to help soak up some of the bumps. And bump soakage, they do. You can hear it kind of rumble as it goes through. But this is awesome. You know, I really miss not having a fat bike, mostly because it really slowed down some of the riding I would do during the winter. You know, the fat bike just gives some extra strength and confidence as you go, which I'm super appreciative of. And it's awesome to be able to get out there with the pup. So we've made it back to the entrance of the trail network here, back to the main trailhead. My little pup, she's been having just an absolute blast out here and enjoying all the sniffing and everything she can do. And I've really enjoyed the first ride on this Salsa Beargrease. You know, pretty much out of the box, this is about as good as you need. I'm super happy with it. You know, the brakes and everything have worked pretty well on it. One thing I definitely would change, dropper post here. I just didn't have time. I haven't gotten one yet, but I'll get a nice dropper post for it. So if you've got some ideas, drop those down in the comments below. And then the other thing I want to work out is the cockpit. The way it was set up out of the stock configuration isn't quite right. You know, I may end up with a whiskey handlebar, match that you know, whiskey bottle cage that I put on here. A nice carbon bar would help. And I definitely want to adjust where the shifters are, see if I can clean that up a bit, make everything look a little bit nicer. Well, anyways, thanks so much for joining this this ride with me on first time out on my Salsa Beargrease Fat Bike. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Personally, I hope you enjoy checking this bike out. Let me know your thoughts, and then don't forget to subscribe because there's going to be more riding this winter coming here soon.